Have you ever felt like something was not quite right in your life, but couldn't put your finger on it? Maybe you've experienced emotional chaos, or found yourself stuck in unfulfilling patterns. Well, guess what? You're not alone. We've all been there, and that's why this discussion is so important. Let me ask you, have you ever suppressed your emotions, thinking it's a sign of strength? Or perhaps you've neglected your well-being while fulfilling countless responsibilities. How about isolation and loneliness? Toxic masculinity. Does that phrase resonate with you? Have you ever grappled with society's expectations of what it means to be a man? But identifying areas for growth is the first step to leveling up as a man. Let's do this. Starting with the first red flag that you should know is, number 1, the Incredible Hulk. Think of it, bros. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and boom, the rage monster busts out. Eyes turn green, blood pressure skyrockets, and fists clench. In the heat of the moment, smashing stuff feels so satisfying. Eventually the dust settles, and all that's left is regret, awkward silence, and people walking on eggshells around you. Not the legacy you want. The reasons for rage are deep. Feelings of powerlessness, childhood wounds, and toxic views of masculinity. But underneath, anger is always fear or pain. It's time for some tough soul searching. Why so angry? What old hurts need healing? Talk it out, get counseling, and get perspective. Discover healthy outlets like working out, creative projects, or venting to trusted friends over a beer. You have a right to feel anger, but violence should never be the answer. Channel that intensity into protecting people, not tearing them down. You have the power to change your programming and response. Number 2, Slippin' Jimmy. All right, guys, let's get honest about lies. Maybe you tell little ones to cover up dumb purchases because your partner will be mad, or to hide behaviors they would disapprove of, or you are exaggerating success to impress your boys. Listen, lying destroys trust. It's like taking a sledgehammer to intimacy and connection. Without trust, relationships crumble. Let's dig deeper. Why lie? Childhood influences, insecurity, the need for control. Take some time for raw honesty with yourself, bro. Now, commit to rebuilding trust. Come clean without excuses to repair broken bonds. Admit mistakes quickly. Don't let them compound. Honor the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. And quit deceiving yourself. You can't have authentic relationships or self-respect without living honestly. Free yourself from this burden. Now, rebuild trust through changed behavior. Admit mistakes quickly without making excuses. Come clean to loved ones. Honor the truth, even when it's uncomfortable or embarrassing. You can't have authentic, fulfilling relationships or self-respect without living honestly. Free yourself from this burden. Number 3, sexist attitudes. Do you secretly think men are just more logical than women? Are you dismissed or angry when women point out sexism? Snicker at the idea of toxic masculinity. Use terms like feminazi. It might be time to rethink attitudes about the fairer sex that seem dated. Drop the defensiveness and get curious. Listen when the women in your life talk about their experiences. Read books and articles about feminism with an open mind. See women as complex humans, first, and potential romantic partners, second. Challenge long-held biases and conditioning. The most evolved men are emotionally intelligent enough to lift others, not tear them down. Free your mind, bro, and your heart will follow. Let's talk about another red flag that you should know. Number 4, Captain Avoidance. Do you avoid responsibility like it's laced with cooties? Point fingers every time crap goes down. Make endless excuses when you drop the ball or hurt people. Always find reasons you couldn't help it. Refrain from doing a fair share of work. Blame, 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 yet never step up. Houston, we have an accountability problem. It's time to put on the big boy pants. Admit when you're wrong, for starters, and quickly. Follow through on obligations without being nagged. When you fail, take ownership. No excuses. Talk less about what's not your fault. Walk the walk more. Hold yourself to high standards, even when no one's watching. The rewards will be next-level self-respect and relationships with absolute trust. Stop playing the victim. Take charge of your life like a boss. Owning mistakes quickly, even small ones, builds accountability over time. Follow through on obligations without being nagged. Have difficult talks to address problems head-on. Hold yourself to the highest standard in private and public. Take full responsibility when you cause harm. The rewards are maturity, self-respect, and relationships built on trust. Number 5, I, me, mine. Do you make everything all about you? Hog the mic in conversations. Forget essential events and wait to ask how others are. Fail to compromise during conflicts. If so, some hardcore self-absorption might be at play, brosef. The good news is that habits can change with intention. Shift from inward to outward. Ask thoughtful questions. Make time to listen. Follow up on important issues. Compromise instead of bulldozing. Do little things just because they'll make someone smile. You also have much to gain when you tune into others' worlds. Kill the navel-gazing and strengthen connections. Number 6, avoiding difficult emotions. Repressing vulnerable feelings like hurt, sadness, and inadequacy causes them to resurface later as anger, addiction, and self-destruction. Numbing yourself to avoid discomfort prevents healing. Emotions demand expression. The path forward is allowing yourself to feel full and process difficult emotions constructively. Confide in trusted friends. Seek counseling to work through buried issues. Find healthy outlets like journaling. Release tears when you need to. Take quiet time for self-reflection. Facing pain leads to deep resilience. Be brave enough to feel. Number 7, Captain People Pleaser. So you're one of those who can't say no. Instead, you'd run yourself ragged trying to make everyone happy, rather than respect your own needs. I get it. You want to be liked, and you'd saw off your leg if it meant validation from others. But bro, that sad puppy act of servitude helps no one in the long run. People-pleasing comes from feeling love is conditional. If I set boundaries, they'll leave me. From parents who flipped if you didn't obey, or friends who ditched you if you didn't submit to peer pressure. That rejection programming runs deep. But being Captain People Pleaser is an exhausting, soul-sucking hustle that erodes self-worth. You're seeking externally what can only come from within. It's time for some tough love. Learn to respect your own wants and limits first, before pleasing people. Your needs matter too. If any of these flags resonated at all, that's awesome. Admitting areas for growth means you can start improving. Now, take it step by step. Small, consistent progress over time adds up to massive transformation. Focus on who you can become, not who you used to be. If you are related to any of these red flags, congrats, bro. Admitting you have room for growth means you can now start improving. How liberating is that? All significant change begins with raised awareness. Take it step by step. Focus on who you can become, not who you used to be. You got this, King. Make us proud out there. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.